Hey, so I was finished watching Hawkeye. Oh my god, absolutely ruined this green screen. Oh dearie me. That's not what happened here. What's going on there? I just literally just leaned backwards and it's all gone to pot. Oh dearie. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so I just watched Hawkeye. The first two episodes of Hawkeye, Never Meet Your Heroes and Hide and Seek. So this is SquishiVision where I'm going to give my immediate reactions. I mean, just watch it, my chance to go deep analysis. It also isn't going to be a particularly lengthy analysis because I'm pretty tired and I'm either about to go crash or catch up on some coursework. Either way, don't spend too long here. So yeah. So this is a new Marvel series, and going into it, I was actually quite excited. I thought it was going to be quite a light-hearted show, very buddy cop, which is always a good mood picker-upper, and very Christmassy. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to see that. It was a bit the pacing, I think, was a bit slower than expected. Um, but other than that, so I'm gonna list things that I loved in no particular order, either in chronological order because I come to my head. Absolutely, absolutely love Kate Bishop in this. She is like just so relatable. They might be going a bit over the top of her, but honestly, I don't care because how the other top part is how niche the charm of the character. Um, I love how she's an absolute nerd and like just completely is like fan freaking out about Hawkeye being there because I guess I realize I think it's gonna be sorry my words are very all over the place but that's because I'm tired. It is almost 1 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. Hawkeye has always been quite a ridiculed character in the MCU. A lot of people like consistently kind of just like mock the character and their place for the MCU. I always liked Hawkeye. I think I liked Hawkeye for one of the big reasons behind kind of the show is that he's basically a normal guy who's been elevated to the status of superhero. He's the I think the very same reason people like Batman, but even he's basically the Marvel version of Batman. People compare Tony Stark and Batman, but really it's more Hawkeye in a sense. Um, because I think a lot of reason people like Hawkeye is the reason why I like. Sorry, big reason people like Batman. I like Hawkeye. Um, except he's a bit more kind of down to earth kind of guy. He's not, rich. He is clever, resourceful, and obviously he had the backing of a big spy organization. But you can take all that away, and he's still quite a resourceful character. Not that Batman isn't, but I don't know. This is why I like Hawkeye. And also, I'm a big fan of Jeremy Renner as an actor, so kind of helps there. Um, but yeah, was also relatable because I'm a big fan of Hawkeye as a character. So the fact that she's that kind of fanning over him, I like how during the Avengers attack, he saw her, she saw him rather, um, save her life effectively, and that's kind of made him a hero figure for her. And I like how we're going to kind of dig into that, because really, as much as he's a hero, he's also an assassin. Like how his background, he is an assassin. He would have been used for quite nefarious means, possibly, pre the whole superhero gig, probably been used for quite some political reasons as well. So quite dark character when you think about it. But I love kind of her whole demeanor. I think she's playing a role great. I love kind of her more, yes, calmer moments, and more kind of private. I like how she acts typically in private and with her family when she does with people. That's also very relatable to me. I act more outgoing with people in general. I'm more reserved with my family. Um, that's very much the case here, so I relate to that. I fence. So I relate to that. I haven't fenced in ages, and I'm probably nowhere as good as the fictional character is meant to be. Although I don't know, maybe I'm showing my rustiness here. I don't think that's not fencing was a bit screen flashy, not quite how actual fencing goes. Although to credit where it's due, fencing bouts are fairly short endeavors. A bout to fencing is usually only a couple of seconds, because there's only so much you can deflect a sword for, and that's pretty accurate here. Though even though he was letting her win. still a sword swing seems a bit flashy for me. And I have shot arrows. I'm primarily a rifle person over a bow and arrow, but I have dabbled, and I have dabbled in martial arts. I have all the skills that she has. She's probably more way behind. So yeah, no, I like to agree. I like how she's. I also love how clumsy she was and how she was basically like. I'm used to seeing fight scenes that are choreographed by like either one hyper competent person and loads of no competent people, or fight scenes by two hyper competent people. This is a fight scene by like loads of low competent people. Like she wasn't. She was martial arts trained, but when they teach you martial arts, one thing I found in my kind of very limited experience of martial arts, I think I did jiu-jitsu, is that it's one thing practicing the moves out with somebody when you're kind of very obviously signposting what you're about to do and what attack you're meant to be blocking. And it's all quite sanitized. You're not actually aiming to hit someone, you're aiming to kind of help them, practice the movements and wrists. It's a form of exercise. I don't know. Based on the martial arts I did in my youth versus, I guess, maybe it's different to like other places. Maybe, more hardcore places do it much more seriously. But, it was always very sanitized and it was always very more about the exercise rather than self-defense. If that's anywhere the same, even if you do it, more seriously, or she did say she did it when she was like 15. If it was even more like that, then that makes sense because you'd have some, reaction skills that would help you in a situation like this, but also you're having to kind of improvise quite heavily, and hold and you would be quite clumsy, kind of trying to just flail people off. But obviously, they weren't any more trained than she was, so it was. Basically, what I'm saying is, it was quite. I thought it was quite. It was quite. Okay, I don't know if this is broadcasting to the right place. I don't. My internet on my laptop's gone off, so I'm having to do this, and it should be broadcasting to the same place, but it probably isn't. Knowing how this is working, I'm gonna actually switch you across like that. So where was I? Essentially, this is. I'm too tired to deal with this. This is either going to the place I wanted to go to, or it's going to something completely different, or God knows what's happening with this. Maybe I'm not even broadcasting at all. The point I was trying to make was I loved how the choreography with Kate was very clumsy action, and like how her fighting was very kind of look. She had more look than anything else, and how she was like sort of quite clumsily. I love her kind of her flawless deflection of, that's a problem, Gary. You can't remember my name. I quit, and that was hilarious. Less so keen on the family drama part, but that's not me saying I don't like family drama part. I'm just saying it's not my favourite part of the episode. But hopefully it's gonna obviously lead somewhere. Although, what is his name? Kevin? Is Kevin his name? Why does he have such an obvious, like, 1920s movie villain mustache? Like, could you be signposting? Is this meant to be deliberate red herring that he's like not actually the bad guy, but they made it so damn obvious that he is. That is meant to be like a very obvious red herring. But yeah, okay. Less about her, more about Hawkeye, I guess. I just loved how he started the whole thing from the get-go being completely exasperated by everything that's going on. He was exasperated by the musical. Also, the musical was great, and how cringy it was. I guess it wasn't as funny as I really thought it was going to be, actually. Most of the things in the musical we actually saw in a trailer. I was hoping we'd get a bit more. I know it was most of them in the trailer, so I guess it wasn't really that of an impact on me, but my best friend who was watching with me found it cringy and hated it. So I guess that's that. Also, who asks someone for an autograph whilst they're pissing. It's yeah, it's quite inappropriate. Wait till ladies come out the bathroom, and you can appreciate that it would cause him some degree of like trauma. Seeing someone plays his former best friend. But I like how she's getting continuous mentions, possibly to tie into the Black Widow crossover with Elena. But like she meant, like we obviously, Lila mentioned that, and his wife mentioned that he was in that move. That's a nice callback to the Avengers. Yeah, and like his uncomfortableness of being a celebrity, which makes sense because until he joined the Avengers, he was a spy, and presumably he had like a fairly low key anonymous identity, because you're a spy, right? So I think it's weird going from really weird going from a spy, someone who works completely in the shadows as an assassin, to being a global celebrity because you saved the world. So I can appreciate him being very uncomfortable and not used to like everyone knowing who he is. So that was nicely done. I think maybe he could have done it more, but that was nicely done. I love how he beats up the tracksuit mafia initially with his scarf. That's like such a great thing. He just arrives and is like, yeah, I'm gonna beat up Bob with a scarf. And then as soon as he realizes that Kate Bishop's a child, he's like, great, this is a thing I'm dealing with, and he just like goes to work and deals with it, and like doesn't hesitate and shows much more competent first aid skills than I have. And then the whole subplot of him having to also I don't know if I should laugh or be amazed by his kind of infiltration of the flat by pretending to be a fireman. To me, it seems more like the incompetence of whoever it was maintaining a crime scene who couldn't stop someone walking up to a fire engine and grabbing a firefighter outfit. But okay, and then I love the whole subplot of having to infiltrate a lab. That was just I love how they shot it really seriously, like completely in slow motion. Dramatic music, but it's basically just tapping people with a foam sword. And I don't know. It was hilarious because Jeremy Renner was clearly giving me the direction of like actual business, but like the whole thing was ridiculous, and so his whole like facial expressions were just like ridiculous, and like I just couldn't stop laughing because a good show isn't meant to take you out of the show. This entire scene took me out of the show, and that's usually a bad thing. But this take me out of the show makes me realize that an actual serious actor with a long a very long career at this point had to do that. It was giving those directions. This makes me laugh in like a way which I'm actually happy about. I also just love how he was like just OPing everyone with his kind of clearly expert sword skills. That was nice, and then I like how chill he was with the guy who had his suit. He was just like nice to meet you. My name's Clint. And I was all like really chill, very 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 Hawkeye. And then I like his whole like. Yeah, I need to speak to whoever's in charge, so I need to get caught. And like I like how he's like completely not concerned, but like Kate was like, "I'm here to rescue you." He's like, "Oh great, this is happening," but even then he's not concerned. That's funny. Yeah, so I find it really funny. Also, Lucky the Pete's dog's just great. I don't know what's happening with that dog yet. It's clearly swings up, but I did appreciate it. Yeah, it's maybe a bit slow at this point, but maybe that's be just also because I was watching it really late at night, and it was two episodes in one, so it was a film. I was basically watching a film. My computer reconnected to the internet, so don't actually know. I did connect to the right stream. That's great. We'll see how that worked out in post later on. Okay, cool. Well, I was nearly done anyway. I wasn't that impressed by. I watched the titles again. I was telling a story clearly. I need to pay more attention, but I wasn't really amazed by the theme tune. So it's not as it's not like One Division, which obviously had a great variations. Not like Captain America and Winter Soldier, it had a clear, distinct thing. It's not like Loki, which is a fantastic opening tune. This has a weakest identity. I can't even remember where it was. It was very kind of underplayed. Some of the songs hopefully was good. Some of it was a bit weird. But yeah, no, I think it's funny. I think it's like hard. I think it's exactly what we need. I'm looking forward to next week. Right, I'm tired. So thanks for watching, and I'll try to stop this stream.